What's up? What's good? Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about what I want to call this one. It's pretty noisy outside, but this is about deception. This is about deception. Deception in the sense of this is about deception. It's about deception and that's what it's greater than deception. It's about an illusion. Definitely in this world, this system, there's an illusion. I feel like the main power. I'm gonna just jump right into this one. No notes. I thought about it for a minute, and I feel like just the basis of the thoughts that I made about it gave me enough mental notes. But the main attribute of this illusion that we live in is that there's no illusion, and that's with any illusion. The main attribute of a great illusion is that the people don't understand that there's an illusion. They don't understand that they're being deceived. If I'm gonna trick you, if I'm gonna lie to you, if I'm gonna whatever, I'm gonna make it seem like not until the end. Until you realize you've been duped, you don't know that you're getting duped, and by then it's too late. So before I jump right into like all the illusion stuff, I kind of want to get a foundation to this. It's super noisy outside today, city noises, but I want to kind of build a foundation talking about the control of the system. It's kind of crazy how we know things that kind of give us a hint that we're being duped, but we don't buy into it. Like, people know 9/11 is fake. People know that the government was actually behind the assassination of Martin Luther King. There's even a court case, and the court case ruled that the government was behind it. But even though we know these things, and it shows that there's everything's not a coincidence, and things aren't just happening. Things aren't just playing out that way just because by chance. That we know these things, but we still just, I don't know, we buy into what we're presented just around us in the world. With Martin Luther King, with Malcolm X and stuff like that, what I take away from that is that the system, and the system isn't necessarily the government. The system is greater than the government and stuff. I'm not even talking about the government and stuff like that. The system is just the system is, if you know, you know, but it's not the government. But the government is part of the system. Yeah, the government is part of the system. But basically, what the system doesn't want, the system will not allow. So anything that's happening in this world, which the system controls, the system will extinguish, it will kill, it will get rid of. And anything that the system is okay with, that goes along possibly with the system's agenda, or it's just irrelevant and doesn't really tip the scales in any way, the system will allow. So, like with the Black Civil Rights Movement and stuff like that, the system didn't want that, so the system, it got rid of the people that were leading that, the Black Panther Party and stuff like that. They didn't want that going down, so the system extinguished it. In this case, that's the government. The government is the system in that sense, but that's not really what I'm talking about. But whatever's in the control of any domain, so it can be as small as a home. Whoever's a figure of authority in that domain, in the home, in the workplace, in the government, in the whole world, whatever, the person that's in control, whatever they don't want to allow, they won't allow. They'll get rid of. If it's going in the opposite direction of the direction that they want things to go in, they will get rid of it. So keep that in what they do, like what promotes what they want to encourage and what they want to see grow in their system, they will allow to continue to prosper, and sometimes they'll even contribute to it themselves. So it's like common sense. Like obviously, duh, it's common sense. But you have to look at it in the sense of, okay, well, what's around us in our world, and what's being, what groups and organizations are being allowed or even being supported and backed by certain things to grow and to prosper and to gain more traction, and what groups and organizations and doctrines, ideologies, etc. are being pushed down and suppressed. This goes to show what goes against the system and what goes with the system. There's a lot of stuff going on nowadays. The main focal point of like a lot of stuff that's like a lot of like culture-wise, a lot of pop culture and stuff. There's like, there's culture, and then there's like the whole legal side of things. But legal side, like laws and stuff, like legislation. But culture-wise, that's what I'm more versed and knowledgeable about. Whatever. But culture-wise, like there's so much stuff going on with all this transgender stuff. The transgender, how do you even say it? It's a trans woman. A trans woman is a man that became a woman, right? I hope so, but that's what I'm going off of. The dude that, whatever, he went on to compete in like they're competing in all these competitions against people that are biologically women, and they're winning, and people are like celebrating it. Like even when I heard something and it like really lit this light bulb in me, where it was like when Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, is it Caitlyn Jenner? I don't know what his trans name is, but when Bruce Jenner became a woman, it was like freaking global applause. Like everybody was like global scale applause. He was even, I think he was woman of the he was woman of the year. Yeah, but this stuff, that's like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking crazy. But think of it in the sense of what the system wants to promote, what the system wants to see. They gave it more applause. Woman of the year, that's very huge recognition, and that's the system's backing. I didn't want to go like too like biblical on this, but it does play a part where it's what transgenderism is defiling God's creation. What God created us as is the devil, Satan, taking it and basically making his own. It's like making a mockery of God's creation. Ultimately, is what it is in the grand scheme of things. You can call it what you want to call it, but that's what it is, and that's the purpose of it. It's the devil. The devil's purpose behind transgenderism is to make a mockery of God's creation and to pervert it and defile it and all of whatever else. But yeah, and as the devil, as this ruler of the system of things, that's why I said it's not about the government, but the devil, Satan, the ruler of the system of things. With him at the head, like the Baphomet. Go look at the Baphomet statue where it's a freaking goat with it's like a male goat. It has a freaking like a staff or something, a phallic symbol in his lap, but it has breast. So that's literally you got man and woman in the same. That's transgenderism. And that's what's being promoted. So that alone, just connect those dots. Just take that alone. That's enough. That's the video wrapped up. All right, cool. But nah. So whatever the system wants to promote, it'll promote, and what it doesn't want, it'll kill off. But beyond that, that's to say that the deception, there it is. The illusion and the deception. Where it's an illusion is that not only do we think that things just naturally are playing out the way that they are, like it's just rolling the dice and this is just how stuff is happening. No. If I'm in control of something, I'm not just going to leave everything up to chance. If I'm in control of something, it's going to go how I want it to go because I'm in control, right? So, even if you don't believe in the devil, if you don't believe in God or whatever, understand that this world is in control. Somebody is controlling the world. There's an elite group or whatever, I ain't even Illuminati, whatever, no. But there's a group of people that are dictating how this world's gonna flow. And if you're just walking around here thinking everything's happening by chance and coincidence and that there's nobody steering the ship, then you're a part of the people that are going to be deceived or are currently being deceived. And I'm not even saying that I'm not being deceived. Like I said, there's always a higher level to the matrix. So there's no point in really trying to break out of the matrix. Like, you can see and realize that, like, we're in a simulation, whatever you want to call it. You can look and see that, but don't get caught up in trying to decode and trying to look through and this and that. Like, it's naturally as life goes on, and once you kind of realize, like, once you see the illusion, you can't unsee it. You can actually, like in the Matrix, there's a dude that's like, I want to go back. Like, I wish I never saw this. So you can go back, but there's always a higher level. So there's no point in being like the people that are just like obsessed with researching and diving in and doing this, because there's always more to it. There's always more to it. So there's no reason to get obsessed with code breaking the Matrix or whatever. Like, I'm not on that, but it's important to at least realize that you're in an illusion and that somebody is steering the ship, and that we're not just on a rock that's just spinning in space, and that everything's just happening by chance. It's not, okay? Just get that much. But with the illusion, where I wanted to take this was, so where are they steering the ship? Where are we headed with the ship? And this is why I love dystopian books. My two favorite is 1984, George Orwell, and Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. These are like critically acclaimed books, by the way. Like, definitely peep them out. But in 1984, everything is super totalitarianism. That's where we get the saying. I'm not sure if that's the origin of the saying, but Big Brother is a big theme in it, where it's like the literal all-seeing eye, where there's like surveillance state, there's cameras everywhere, and all your moves are being watched. Like, when you wake up in the morning, they had them like literally in front of their TV, like stretching, and there's this one scene, you can't really call it a scene in the book. What do you call it? What is that word? Oh well. But there's a scene in the book, and he's stretching in front of his camera, his TV in the morning. And there's a camera, and there's a speaker that comes from over the camera that's, they're watching him, and he's like, number, I don't know, 286, like, touch your toes, you're not stretching harder. But this is just to show like the power of the surveillance state, and that's like ultimate totalitarianism. So that's like one way they could steer the ship to where we're like in this super totalitarian state where we're constantly under surveillance and every move is being watched and we're being told what to do 24/7. And then in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, it's still totalitarian, but it's like flavored with utopian. And I think, and Aldous Huxley said this as well, I agree with what he thinks. I'm not going to coin this as my original thought, because it's not. But I'm agreeing with his thought. We're saying he compared the two. He compared his book to 1984, and he said that he feels like his is more true. And he says this because the illusion in that book it's an illusion. In 1984, the illusion is broken. Basically, it's like you get to that point, and then they're like, okay, no more smoke and mirrors. We basically got to the point where we can just lock y'all in mental chains, mental bondage, whatever, and we can do y'all however we want to do with the secret police force, all that stuff. Like, we can just, total control, totalitarianism. Whereas in Aldous Huxley's, the people are living in this, it's a utopian state, but it's not, because the people they're knowledgeable, but they're not wise. They're conditioned. They're super conditioned, but they still have access to things that make them feel like life's all right and that life is good. They work their jobs. They get to go out and they go to the cinema. They go to these events like balls and stuff. They have this one event is literally I don't know. I need to reread that, because that one event was weird. It was like they would say this thing. I'm pretty sure they're having an orgy, but they were saying like orgy porgy or something, and they're like in this circle and just, it was a very weird little scene in that book. But I'm gonna definitely have to give that a reread, and just for the sake of that. But the people were sedated, so like when they were feeling anxious and stuff like that, they had this drug called soma, and they'd take a tablet, and basically like, it's basically like modern day weed, like how we have marijuana, weed, whatever. It was basically like that. It would sedate them and make them like, oh, you know, all right, man, this ain't so bad after all. I'm cool now, like whatever. But these people they didn't question anything. They were literally even conditioned in their sleep. They didn't have sex to reproduce. They were made in literal test tubes. They took like embryos, and they would make the embryos split, like mitosis, I believe it's called, and they would split, and they could make like one embryo into like hundreds, maybe even thousands. I believe it was maybe thousands in this case, but thousands of beings, and they will all look the freaking same. And yeah, and I feel like that's definitely more accurate, because I feel like if you're going like in this world, we're kind of already there, because the people are just sedated with we're batteries. We're already batteries for society. We power society, and at the end of the day, we just go back to our homes, and then we recharge by sedating ourselves with freaking, I'm gonna watch some Netflix, I'm gonna go smoke some whatever, I'm gonna just, you're just trying to wash the day away, wash the stress of your work day away, wash the stress of whatever away, and gear up for the next day to go and make your contribution to society. And that's basically what was happening in Brave New World. And that's why I feel like it's not all the way here already, but that's a book, so it's written more, so it's more clear and concise and to the guidelines, so it's not going to be perfect, but this definitely mirrors kind of the reality that we're already living in. And yeah, like I said, I don't have notes on this one. There's no real clear conclusion to this talk, but I just wanted to talk about deception and illusion. Yeah, but that's this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Is that it? Let me think. Give me a moment to think if that's all I want to talk about in this one. Yeah, I mean, I can compound on it in another talk, but I'll do that later in a different video. But that's this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, whatever. Peace out.